Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the latest recording in Chandos' generally admirable series of orchestral music by Ruth Gipps, who died in 1999. She was born around 1921, something like that, and wrote quite a bit of music. This particular volume contains, let's see what it contains, her Symphony Number 1, the Horn Concerto, and some shorter works called, let's see, Ambarvalia, subtitled A Dance, Cringlemire Garden, and Coronation Procession. So, how does this stack up? Well, as with previous releases in this series, it strikes me that she was primarily a miniaturist. She's not a symphonist, and I'll tell you why she's not a symphonist. But before we do that, let's get to the good stuff. First, the Horn Concerto. It's really lovely, beautifully written for the instrument, colorfully orchestrated, full of enjoyable ideas, really a lovely addition to a medium that doesn't have a lot of fine works, let's face it. You know, for horn concertos, you got some Baroque thingies, you got the Mozarts, then there's like, well, Hindemith, there's just not a lot of horn concertos out there. There really aren't. I mean, Gert Tveit wrote one, and there's a Swedish one. Who was it? Gerard de Frumery or someone like that wrote one. I mean, it's just Glier, I think, did one, right? Didn't he? I don't know. They're just forgettable by and large. But this, I think, is really, really attractive, and it's not overly long. Let's just see how long it goes. Let's see, Concerto for a Horn, 17 minutes, 11 seconds. Perfect for a horn concerto, so your lips don't blow off and you hear everything enough times. It's really a well-planned, enjoyable piece. The short pieces are delightful. I mean, the Coronation Procession is actually interesting. It's got several different episodes, and it's not terribly bombastic, but it gets the job done. It proceeds rather nicely. And let's see, what else have we got here? Oh, the dance thing, Ambarvalia, was perfectly fine. These are all, characterful and charming works that do nice things for us. However, we get to Symphony Number 1. I mean, as with the other symphonies in this series, Symphony Number 1 shows us what the problem is. It's not like overly crazy long. Let's see how it is. It's 36 minutes and 35 seconds. It's normal symphonic length. It has the normal 4 movements. The problem is there is a sameness to the idiom. I mean, technically, this is like an F minor or something, wasn't it? Symphony Number 1 in F minor, yeah. And the relentlessly modal, slightly bluesy harmony of the work. It was written in 1942, the same time as a lot of fabulous symphonies of that period, right? I mean, there was like Walton 1 and Vaughan Williams 4, and all these things were coming out at the time. And this is just a little bit, it's not that it's placid, it moves. It has tempo contrast, but it has a harmonic sameness that just sucks the tension out of it and makes every movement sound like every other movement. And I've listened to it several times. I've tried to put my finger on exactly why it's unsatisfying. Because she's a skillful writer. Her orchestration is good. She knows how to add color from the woodwind sections. There's a lot of nice things in it. And you start off each movement with an idea that's characterful, and she knows how to write counterpoint. I mean, it's all just there. But it doesn't get sustained. After a few minutes of it, it all just starts to meander. And that's a problem when you're writing symphonies. I mean, you've really got to have more of a sense of contrast and, and goal towards something, or if you're not going to do that because you're not going to be traditionally tonal, then you have to have a rhythmic foundation or something that's going to float the music and sustain 36 minutes and some odd seconds of length. I'm not saying that it is boring. Let's face it, it's just boring. It has every moment to moment. I enjoyed it. You hear it, you constantly hear some fresh jolt of orchestral color or something like that. But then you get to the end of the movement and you're like, what was that? What happened? Why are we doing another one? What's the point of having four movements at all? You begin to ask yourself those questions. And it's a shame because she's very talented. She really is. The Horn Concerto tells us that she can write in largish forms when, she has the right challenge before her. But I think the abstract medium of the symphony was just not her métier. That's how I feel now, having heard several volumes in this series. I'm sorry to say it, because it would be great if we could have, another sort of Vaughan Williams-y composer who, wrote piles of good music after Vaughan Williams passed away. But she's not it. She really isn't. She's talented, but not good enough to be, I think, an important or really interesting symphonist. It's certainly not the performances. The performances are lovely. Martin Owen is the horn player. He's terrific. Rumon Gamba, who we all know from countless Chandos issues, is very reliable. The BBC Philharmonic plays well. They're not the world's most interesting orchestra, but this is not their fault. I mean, they're clearly doing the job. It's the music. It's the music. So, this is partially successful. I know there are people out there who think more highly of her than I do, but I'm really convinced that I have it pretty well pegged as far as her symphonic style goes. A lot of workmanship, but not a lot of inspiration. And she's deficient in a couple of major things that symphonies really need to have, that long works, not symphonies, pieces in large forms that take more than half an hour really need. So there you have it. You who have been following the series will already want this. Others, I suggest you stream or download some of the shorter works and do listen to the Horn Concerto. It's absolutely lovely. And if you really like it, you may respond better to the first symphony than I did. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.